Imagine a scenario. Two men talk to each other across a desk. What they talk about, it doesn't matter. 10 seconds, 20 seconds pass, then boom! Boom. They're gone. Okay, now imagine another scenario. You have the same two men talking across a desk, but while they're talking, you get a shot of underneath the table and you see a bomb. Maybe even has a timer on it. Now you come back to the conversation. Now what they say has this importance that it didn't have before. Because now you're wondering, why are you still talking when there's a bomb underneath the desk? And you're feeling this anxiety that they're not feeling. The bomb will still go off. But the filmmaker in that situation drags out the tension for, it could be minutes, 10 minutes. I mean, he could drag it out for however he wants. And so basically, this is what Hitchcock was talking about when he developed his, this is the illustration that Hitchcock used to describe his theory of suspense. So so basically the idea is that the viewers get information that the audience does not have. And that's how the suspense is developed. Now, I want to show you the scene from Psycho and the shower scene from Psycho. And it's the most famous scene of Hitchcock's career. It's one of the most famous scenes of all time. But I'm going to use it to illustrate Hitchcock's, how he used suspense in his films.
Mother, oh God, Mother, blood, blood.
Okay, I let the scene play out because how can you really cut the scene? Be kind of sacrilegious, I would think. But I'm just wondering. I want you guys to think about when does the suspense begin in the scene? Is it when you see that door open? Is it when you see that door open? Is it when that figure moves behind Janet Leigh's character, Marion? And it makes sense. I can see that, or you can see that as the equivalent to the bomb, right? We're seeing the menace before she does. And so, but I would argue that you could see some more subtle kinds of reasons for unease just a few seconds before that door opens. Let's go to this shot right here. So notice how Marion Crane, the character, is how she's framed in this scene. So she's on the far right. Now, most filmmakers will, most of the time, will give us balanced frames. There's something on the left will be balanced by something on the right. And so when you have this offset, this character is set off to the side, there's that negative space, that's what we call it, negative space on the left side of the frame. And even though we might not be aware of it, these kind of setups do cause, it's called compositional stress, and it's this idea that we're made uneasy, like we want that frame to be balanced. And so there could be a little bit of sense of unease just from the way she's set up in this frame. Another thing, to go back a little bit further in the earlier in the scene, why are we in the shower with this woman, right? It seems odd to have this really prolonged shower scene. Are they trying to titillate us, or is it? But it does seem just a peculiar choice. Now with Psycho, I would say that the suspense begins long before the shower scene. There's other scenes such as this brief one where the character Norman Bates is sneakily deciding which room to give Marion. Why is he doing that? Then a little bit later, we see Norman Bates as he goes and peeks in on Marion as she's changing. So we're aware of some kind of menace. We might not, or a threat. We're not sure what form that threat will take. We certainly might not see a murder or foresee a murder, but there is that still sense that we understand some kind of threat that she does not. So here's where Norman peeks through the hole he's made. And so, again, I think that we can really think of suspense in sort of almost beyond the story itself. But first, I'll take you to the very beginning of it. So, viewers who come to watch Psycho, even those first viewers who watched the very first screening of the movie, still knew they were walking into a movie called Psycho, and also they knew that there was a well, look at the opening credits. Don't just look at the opening credits. Listen to the opening credits. So I make an argument that if you call your movie Psycho, that's pretty much the equivalent to showing that bomb underneath the desk. You're basically telling the viewers that to expect something violent if you do that. And even that first, those very first pristine viewers, unsullied viewers of Psycho, I don't think you could even say that they were unsullied. So you have some of them. Some viewers likely read Robert Bloch's novel. It was a popular novel. 1959 is when it came out. The movie came out in 1960. Also, many more people probably saw the promo video that Hitchcock shot. Hitchcock actually shot and starred in. He even gave a tour of the Bates Motel. So yeah, the movie audience, even that first movie audience, was primed for the terror that was going to go down in this hotel room. Believe me, if Marion Crane had seen this promo, she would not have gone to that hotel. Now, viewers since 1960, when the movie came out, well, it's really pretty hard to go through your life without having heard of the shower scene, seen clips of the shower scene, seen parodies of it. Let me show you a few parodies. This is from Mel Brooks's High Anxiety. I won't play the whole clip, but basically, shot for shot, just instead of Janet Leigh, you have Mel Brooks as the victim. Then you have a zany movie called Phantom of the Paradise. That was a Brian De Palma film.
Like my last salutations from the other side. Well, I can see that you're the devil's bride. Do you realize that all of you donated something horrible you hated that was part of you? Well, I'm your nightmares coming true. I am your bride.
Okay, so just the big joke there being the knife being exchanged with a plunger. And then there's the knife turns into a banana in Vacation. And so I guess what I'm saying is that even just existing in this culture, you're going to be hearing about the shower scene. You might find out information about Alfred Hitchcock. Even now, he's one of the most famous directors of all time. And I think that anxiety could build even very far away from your first viewing of Psycho. Now, as for me, the anxiety began when I was maybe 7 years old, and my mom told me about this movie and told me how the shower scene scared her from the shower for an entire week. Another friend told me that his mother would not take a shower even to that day without the door open. I'm not sure what the door being open why that would help, but still, she would that shower scene affected her so much. So I mean, I think it's a really good question on why I'm curious about this, but why was I wanting to see Psycho ultimately when I did? And I think I saw it on Halloween night and when I was 20 years old or 19 or 20 years old. And I was just, why would I want to see this movie that filled my so many people with dread and with anxiety and terror? But I think that's what there's no doubt that horror films have have interesting appeal. We seek out stories of carnage for one reason or another. We want to be terrified. And so that is an interesting subject in its own right. It would have to be for the next podcast or a future podcast. But I think it is worth considering, worth thinking about, and trying to come to some kind of conclusion about why these kind of stories have appeal. Thank you.